Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. We are just three dudes that love wrestling, and we're all older, especially myself. I'm old as shit. But anyways, I am your host, TamraTime83. I am here with my buddies of 20 plus years, Mr. Odysseus.
Hello, I'm the notorious OID, Odysseus, and I am here to talk wrestling.
And my buddy, the Raven.
Hello there.
Hello there, Clarice. Anyway, for those of you who are new to the podcast, we kind of try to make it different. We don't really talk about exactly everything that's happening right now in the world. It's not like, oh my God, did you see this? Did you see this? Because when you do that, everybody's doing that, and you kind of lose the realism of how you used to love it compared to how you love it now. That nostalgia feeling. So what we're going to do is we always rotate so that none of us ever do the same thing in a row. We always have one person who's talking about something current that they love or something from the something that they hate that's current. Then we have someone talk about old school. What we mean by old school is, like maybe 5 years back to whenever. It doesn't matter. There's no time limit. But it's something that they absolutely loved or something they absolutely hated that made you remember it. That stuck in your mind. Something you're like, oh shit, that was awesome. Or man, this was so cool. Do you remember when Mick Foley got thrown off the Hell in the Cell? And then we also do this thing where it's called, it's not called anything really, sorry. It's whenever you have an idea or a match, a pay-per-view idea, an upcoming match, a storyline, something that you want to see that has not been done yet, or something that is already done that you can improve on. So for this week, the Raven is actually going to start us out with something that is current, that he loves or hates. Like all of us hate CM Punk and never want him to come back again. But that's a story for another time. Without any further ado, Raven, you want to take us away?
Yeah, thank you, Hammer. I'll absolutely take it away. So right now, I feel that the WWE is experiencing a renaissance in creativity. The last 15 years has not been greatest. With some fresh faces, though, and Mr. Paul Levesque in creative, I see a lot of positive changes. I see a lot of people that never would have had a chance before coming back, and talking about Johnny Gargano. We're talking about Bronson Reed winning. More of an emphasis on factions and tag teams. That's what I love. I love seeing the newfound, just the freshness that it feels good. The long title reign. It's been forever since the Intercontinental Championship meant anything, and Gunther is the man. He is just amazing. I love him. Love Imperium. Give me more of that.
All right, so let's go with Gunther for a second. All right, I know what Mr. Odysseus is gonna say, but I honestly believe he might have the greatest chop in wrestling history.
Absolutely. Agreed.
No. Currently, yes.
All right, this is the part where I knew you were gonna take. I know who you're gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Exactly. But dude, did you see the one where he hit Ivar? It literally sounded like a frying pan on metal or a gunshot.
I agree, and I just, as much as I love Flair and his chops started it all, man, Gunther just has that strength that just like, when he hits you, you just like, Jesus, my chest just caved in.
I come out looking like Kofi Kingston.
Mm-hmm. No chest.
Maybe worse. You might end up like Scott Steiner.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Holla if you hear me.
Shall I do some math?
Oh,
No,
please.
no. Please, no.
Oh,
But
Lord.
yeah, I would agree. I think the direction that everything is going now is very positive, and I will take it one step further. I think also I have to give credit to um, Tony Khan and AEW for forcing the WWE to step up,
Absolutely.
kind of change the way. This is not. I mean, a lot of people's like, this is not the, when we used to do the Nitro versus the Raw era. This right here, recently, is something for everybody. Besides what's happening tonight, you can watch wrestling every day. There's something on just about, I think me and Raven talked about it before. There's wrestling on like every day, probably unless there's like a Sunday or something. But you get to enjoy not just the people that you have going on now, but you get to enjoy two different types of wrestling with a lot of familiar stars. Some that are making new names for themselves, and then you have some that are getting second chances and able to shine. So I think it's a win-win situation with everybody. And also I love that the wrestlers are, a lot of them are really jumping on the fans, because just because someone jumps ship doesn't mean they hate the other organization. It's just they're actually getting their own chance to shine.
Like Edge.
And yeah. Edge, Jade. I mean, all those people.
So oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, so I kind of agree but disagree with you guys. So the reason that I agree with you is I love certain things that they are doing. I do like the way the tag team division is kind of starting to slowly become a thing again, and I hope that they go somewhere with that. But then I also don't like the fact that here again, and this goes with current and product and struggling and whatnot. It's kind of coincidental, right? That Edge's first match is tonight or tomorrow night. Sorry. And literally every legend you can think of is gonna be on WWE. Like, to me,
that's tonight.
Yeah, I'm sorry, tonight. Yeah, sorry, tonight then.
Yeah.
It's dumb because, like, what is the Undertaker gonna do? He's my all-time favorite. What's he gonna do? Come out and say rest in peace and then just go away and people get that nostalgic feeling for him saying that?
Well, that Rock did the same thing 3 weeks ago.
Well, The Rock's gonna have a match at potentially WrestleMania against Roman. Undertaker is done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I understand that, but his name still speaks volume.
Oh no, it always will. But it's just it's just such a coincidence that Edge's first real night there, they're pulling out all these legends. It's like they're trying to slap him in the face, and I don't agree with that.
Well, I don't think it's just Edge. I think Tony Khan, you got to remember now, and Raven brought this up, and I had to think about it. Tony Khan first put Dynamite up against NXT. True. It was killing him to the point that NXT had to move to Tuesday night. And then a lot of things happened, but a lot of wrestling fans, and they like showing the crowds and stuff at the events of the AEW events, feels like they are not a threat to the WWE. But apparently, to me, that you're going to dish out all this money to have these stars on a Tuesday night developmental show just to go up against AEW kind of makes me think you do think AEW is a threat.
I think that's what I'm getting at, though, is the reason that I have such a problem with it is not necessarily the fact that you're bringing in, like, I get you're bringing. Okay, so let's just face it. The biggest legend NXT ever had is Asuka. 1,000%. I get her coming back, right? I get, I don't get Paul Heyman coming back. Because, yes, Paul Heyman found 90% of the people that are still wrestling today. Because, you know, he was a talent like JR and did all the backstage stuff. But why does he need to be there? He's not an advocate for anybody who's there storyline wise. It's not like Roman's going to be there. So Undertaker has no rivalry with anybody that is in NXT. So it's like, I don't like the cheap pop, the cheap returns for what is supposed to be a developmental show.
It's true, but I think that's what they're going for. I mean, you know, to me, you're right. It is them totally saying, screw you, AEW.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, that's just the bottom line. And they're doing it because AEW moved to their night, to Tuesday night. They remember how they used to get the butts kicked, and they had to move originally. So now they're just like, all right, so let's play a little game here, you know? And it's good for wrestling fans because now you got the one-upmanship here going.
Thank you. That's what I was gonna say.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
I just wish that WWE. So here's my problem, and I've said this for years. When it comes to new stuff, and you know this goes along with the whole new topic that we're on right now. If WWE does not develop new stars, they are going to die out. You know,
100%.
The Rock
100%.
can only come back so many times. Undertaker is done. Triple H can't wrestle anymore. Like,
that's why Vince had to go. Vince was killing WWE with his crazy booking and his madness.
But they said,
yes.
I don't know if you saw the article that came out today that it's talking about, yes, Triple H is still in charge of he's in charge of, you know, writing and storylines and creative control.
Now.
But
right.
then Vince is still there and Dana's not going to tell Vince no.
That was touched on first, but I saw a lot of reports today, and of course, you know, they're just different what culture wrestling and cultaholic wrestling is pretty much the two ones I watch. And they were touching on that today. They pretty much said that effective last night, Vince is not going to have a whole lot of say in creative anymore. That it's pretty much going to be Triple H from now on. He was basically knighted by Endeavor.
Now, do you think that this is because of Vince's scandals he has going on, or do you think this is because Vince is so out of touch with wrestling?
Both. Absolutely both.
I think it's a combination of Vince's scandal, but you also got to look at the numbers that Triple H is putting up for the company.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. Without him, you would not have the Shield, and you would not have the Four Horsewomen.
Yeah, but let's talk business. Business wise, Triple H is putting up the numbers. I can tell you right now that I can't distinctively name one bad pay-per-view I've seen in the last year. Where we used to get together when we had our get-togethers, or before all this took place, those pay-per-views would be sorry as but some of them would, you know, and you'd be like, wow, I can't believe I wasted my time watching this. I can tell you, and what some people don't understand, a lot of people writing these stories now are wrestlers who, like we were talking today, Bobby Roode.
I saw
Jamie Noble. A lot of these guys who can't wrestle or something happened to them are doing storylines. Shane Gregory Helms. These guys are doing storylines. These are the guys that are creating, you know, even Paul Heyman, you know, behind the bloodline, the storylines and these stuff. These guys are really, they've taken, you don't have your old, you know, rest in peace, Pat Patterson or Jerry Briscoe and those guys sitting around with Vince coming up with some dumb, okay, let's make him a clown that sells trash, you know, to little kids and stuff like that. Ha ha ha. You know, they're using legitimate wrestlers with legitimate storylines. That is almost believable. You know, the most storylines changed, in my opinion, and I'm going back a little bit. Storylines changed with Eric Bischoff and the NWO. At that point, you thought that stuff was real almost. To the point, you remember one Nitro, they actually called the police because they thought it was a riot.
Yep, I remember that.
When they were in Florida.
Yep. It's the same thing with Gronkowski.
Yeah. When it was the same night that Rey Mysterio got lawn darted into the train.
I will never forget that.
No, that is embedded in my mind.
People thought that was real.
Hey, I was just impressed that his quad didn't tear.
Oh God! Look, that's the third on the list we could talk about all night. But I see a new direction, and I have to disagree with you, Hammer, when you said it's just like there are no more Rocks, there are no more Stone Colds, but and the closest thing we have to it is probably LA Knight.
I would say the Miz.
But LA Knight. The Miz is cool too, but they'll never equate to them, and so they got to do it their own way.
Oh, I was saying somebody who's been around a while who's still in the business. I wasn't necessarily saying that.
Oh yeah.
I don't think the Miz has the star power of those guys, but he's just been around forever. He's like Ziggler, which still sucks that Ziggler's gone, but he's just been around forever.
But you also got to realize we have a generation now that. How they say kayfabe is dead. The older guy is like, yeah, we lived that.
It's still real to
me. But we live in a time where realistic storylines, sometimes too realistic, that I'm like, whoa, you need that's just too much. But we live in a time where now normal wrestling fans of this day and age, they're not going to buy into, satanic rituals and all that stuff. We're still stuck in we want a little bit of Austin, hell yeah, but we also want some amazing athletic wrestling, something that's going to amaze us. We live in a generation of 6 seconds. You got to show these people something 6 seconds for them to be interested in, or they're not interested anymore. And that's what I think with wrestling comes when they do those what the old wrestlers like, I'm the old school. I can watch a Flair match for an hour. Some people can't do that these days. For example, the match that Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson had at Wrestle Dream. That was a classic wrestle match. And people was like, wrestling enthusiasts like, oh my God, that was the greatest match in the world. Generation today, man, that was so boring.
I was like watching paint dry.
Yes. But, there's an art form and then there's an art. But I just think, as far as creative today, I think we're getting a little bit of both. We're getting the storylines, but we're getting a lot of the newer talents with these storylines.
All right, Raven. So what is something that you absolutely hate that is current?
I can tell you that right off the bat, and that is the way the women's division is being treated on SmackDown. There's so many talented women wrestlers that they don't get any time.
I think that's about to change.
And I'm hoping, because we got people like Zoe Stark. I mean, I know she's on Raw, but, she is an amazing wrestler. And, I'll be the first one to tell you, back in the Attitude Era, I despised any time they put women wrestling on, because it wasn't wrestling. It was bra and panty matches. It was the divas. I hate that era of women wrestling. Because, damn it, some of those women do a lot more than some of those men. I mean, I'd run away from Rhea Ripley. I ain't gonna lie. Well, no, I'd let her be up. What I'm saying. But
you mean Mamacita 2.0?
Oh, Mamacita! Woo!
She was wearing China's ring gear, right?
No.
Yeah.
Honor
her.
Yep. It was an exact copy of it.
I did not know that.
It was 2 pay-per-views ago.
Huh. Yep. When she actually wrestled. But anyway.
But well, that goes into the other thing.
She's
They've
got to.
made her so big now. Like, she is without a doubt probably one of the biggest female wrestlers. And there's just nothing seems like a credible threat because they've been letting, she was squashing everybody. I mean, you got people like Zoe Stark that can go toe to toe with. You got people like Raquel Rodriguez go toe to. Shayna Baszler.
I am so on the fence with Raquel Rodriguez because I'm like, is she good or is it because she's Braun's
Physical.
girlfriend?
Well, no, physical wise.
Oh, okay.
They broke up. They broke up.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, he's with Cora
Yeah.
Jade now.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
No. Braun Strowman, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
You're talking, Raven. You're talking Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker, yeah.
Yeah, Breaker's with Cora.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Braun Breaker is like, to me, I want to say he's almost the perfect wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He's got Scott's Mike's ability without, the math problem. And his wrestling is on par with, like, he reminds me of Kurt Hennig.
Yes, he does. And that's a good comparison there.
So,
But I
I'm just
I
gonna
just
drink.
think they need to beef it up.
I would drink my Kool-Aid on that one.
I just feel like I agree with you, but I think Jada coming, and they even said she's gonna be on SmackDown. And
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, I did not see it. I hadn't heard that. So
They said they
makes me
signed
happy.
at the pay-per-view. They said they signed her to the SmackDown brand. Now, of course, you can't have a match with Charlotte if you're on SmackDown.
Oh,
Yeah, sure.
yeah. Charlotte's gonna have to recognize
Well,
because I think
because they were, I don't know if you remember, but they were tweeting back and forth for months about how they appreciated each other's craft and all that, even when they were in different shows. Because, she was dating, or she's married to, I can't remember his name.
Andrade?
Andrade.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his AEW name.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
It's Andrade something.
Yeah.
They Kilo, I don't know.
He's a great wrestler, don't get me wrong.
No, he is. Absolutely. And,
Well, I think with that, I think it's a good move because then Rhea don't have to be on both shows. Rhea can be the tribal chief of Raw. And then, at some point, WrestleMania match, big money, put those two together. No combining titles or nothing.
Oh, God.
But
no.
at some point, just have them two just have a grudge match.
Huh.
Just bump heads. It's inevitable, but
Yeah.
let's not rush it.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I think we'll move on to the next topic. But before we do, it's time for trivia, boys. Are you ready?
Sir.
All righty. Who or what? And let me phrase it this way. Who is the anti-Undertaker at WrestleMania? There is a streak going right now where this person has lost 5 in a row.
Oh,
I heard this the other day, and I can remember.
I know.
What's your guess, Odysseus?
My guess is you can't see me. I'm going with John Cena.
Nope, it is not Cena. Cena was okay. So let me clarify. When I say the streak, I mean they've never won at WrestleMania.
Okay.
So you may choose another guest.
Okay, they never won at WrestleMania.
They've never won. They are they are current and they are 0-5. So that gives you a hint that they've been with it for almost 5 years or longer.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's somebody from NXT because we know how Vince felt with them.
No, I think I want to say 5 years hasn't won a match.
Miz?
It is not The Miz. That is your guess, Raven.
All right, that's
5 years. Is it? And they're a current superstar.
They
right?
are a current superstar. Yes.
I would say 5 years. Has it been that long? No, because he got destroyed. Because it wasn't Kofi Mania. So, dang, 5 years. Wow. Come on, Johnny. Think. You got this. Wow.
You want me?
Probably. I can't think right now. Go ahead.
No one's ready for Asuka. Asuka is
Really?
0-5.
At WrestleMania.
Yep.
really.
Yeah, I know she lost. She lost to. I know she lost to Flair. Was her first time, right?
Yep.
Yep. I can't remember. Then she kind of like went in the, kind of like they threw her under the bus for a bunch of stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I thought it was crazy.
That is nuts. I called it though. I did say somebody from NXT.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Here's your next one. Both of these wrestlers were in the same exact era. One is still wrestling, one is not. One of them is a 14-time champion. The other one is a 7-time champion. And they have never faced each other in a one-on-one match. And they both worked exclusively for the WWE for 20 plus years. Name them.
I mean, I almost want to say Edge and Christian, but I know that's not.
You got one of the names.
Okay.
Edge is one of them?
No. Christian Cage.
Oh. Christian Cage. Now they're both. They never. Oh, I know. Is it? No, I can't say that.
Say what?
Because he actually said. No, it was stupid. I was going to say. No, they did fight. They fought in AEW. I was going to say Christian and Sting. But,
remember,
no,
I said
WWE.
14-time champion.
Taker?
No, Taker only won it like, what, 6 times? 5 times?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm
Oh. Is it Orton?
It is Triple H.
Oh, wow.
Yep, Triple H and Christian Cage have never had a one-on-one match, including house shows.
Oh,
Wow.
that's actually.
Did he hate him that much?
No, it just never happened. It just never happened. All right, so now we're going to move on. Odysseus, you are on old school, sir. What is something that you love and something that you hate?
Okay. Well, let's talk about something I hated from old school. Well, what I hated from old school, I'm gonna go back to SummerSlam, 1993. Does anybody remember that one?
That was the debut of my boy.
Who?
Wasn't that The Undertaker's debut?
No.
No, I thought that was
He
Survivor
came.
Series.
Oh, I thought you. I'm sorry. I thought you said Survivor Series. My bad.
Yeah. 93.
93. That would have been.
I'll give you. It was a current. It was a main event. Was a ex WCW.
Is that the Bret Hart, Yokozuna, Hulk
Nope,
Hogan?
you got one right.
Okay.
Nope. You got Yoko right,
Yokozuna
but
and Hogan?
Yokozuna versus
Macho
the guy
Man.
on the bus.
Oh, the guy
God,
on the
it had
bus.
Oh, Lex Luger. Lex Luger?
Yes.
The Lex Express.
Lex
Lex Express. Yep.
Do you remember that?
Yep.
They beefed up that match so much that you knew Luger won the match, but he didn't win the title. He won the match from a disqualification.
Mr. Fuji threw salt. I remember that.
Yes, but the biggest thing was he slammed him. He slammed him on the boat during the challenge. But, after that, Luger did nothing in the WWE.
Didn't he get?
Was supposed to be the next Hulk Hogan.
That was when he got hit with steroids the first time, though, right?
I'm not sure.
I thought that's why he lost his push. Or either that or he got hurt. I thought it was one of the two.
I know at one point he had an accident where he had to get the metal plate in his elbow.
Yeah, but that was before all that.
Yeah, but
because he had that when he was the narcissist, and he was the narcissist before he was the Lex Express.
You're right. But I just feel like that was a build up to why. I mean, were you beefing up Yoko that much? Because, like you said, even after that, like you just mentioned, the Hogan, Yoko, Bret Hart fiasco.
Mm.
But it goes back to Hogan. So, me, I just felt like they were crooning him to be. I used to like Lex Luger, but his WWE run to me was like a joke. It had nothing behind it. And
I think it's because loser. I think that they mentioned this. I think they mentioned this in a documentary. It might have been Dark Side of the Ring or something. But I remember them saying that the reason he lost his push was because he could not cut a promo.
Really?
Yeah. I remember that. Because even in WCW, I mean, when he joined the Four Horsemen, Ric Flair and Arn Anderson did all the talking. All he had to do was just show up. He was essentially the enforcer without being the enforcer.
Yeah.
And the thing, and when he beat Hogan with the rack to win the title, he dropped it so damn quick afterwards because he couldn't work on the mic.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Lex was chiseled out of stone. Before,
that's all he was.
Yeah, before he had his health issues.
From powder.
I don't know, man. Like that whole thing that happened to him, I don't think drugs would have caused that. I think he legitimately had like something either hereditary or something genes wise, because that wouldn't just flare up like that.
You got to realize, but take this. Think about this too. Same thing happened to Paul Orndorff.
Spinal stroke.
Yeah.
You saw Paul Orndorff when after all that you could not barely recognize him.
Yeah, that's true.
The same thing, and I think it's a combination of steroids, drugs, or whatever they were given because they were huge.
Yep.
And then they're just frail. I think Orndorff passed away, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, man, I always thought it was crazy. Like I didn't meet him, but I went to a show. I don't even remember what it was, but it was before Eddie Guerrero got famous. And I remember seeing Eddie, and Eddie was huge. I mean, like, Eddie's like 5 foot nothing. And I just remember, like, my dad's taller than Eddie Guerrero. And my dad was like standing next to him because it was like a local gym. Like we were just out and about at a gym. And this was before he went to WCW. And it was when we were in Texas, in Conroe, Texas. And I remember Eddie was huge then. So
I was talking with Raven the other day, and we were talking about Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh,
if you look at old pictures of Shinsuke Nakamura used to be huge.
I mean,
not the size.
Have y'all seen the picture of Steve Blackman?
Yes, I saw that the other day.
Holy crap, he was bigger than Hogan.
Yes, he was.
What? I haven't seen that one.
So Blackman was huge. He was like Chris Masters, right? And he caught malaria overseas and was basically almost bedridden for 2 years.
Oh my God.
And he lost, I think they said he lost like 80 pounds of muscle mass.
I can believe it.
Okay, so that's something that you hate with that pay-per-view, right?
Yeah.
So was it because of the build-up that you hated it, or was it because the after effects?
I think a combination of both.
Was it also because at that time they didn't have any stars? Because that was right when Hogan was filming movies. That was about that was when he was doing
You didn't have access.
What?
Well, here's the thing. Nowadays we get a pay-per-view once a month. That was back in the days where pay-per-views were
like 6
once every 3 months.
Yeah.
And the build-up was just tremendous. Like, wow, this is going to be awesome. And then this is what you do. And I'm just like, wow. And just me, everybody made such a big deal of him winning, but you didn't win the title. And I was just like, okay, that's just, I don't know, that just stuck with me. Like if you know me, you know I'm a big WCW enthusiast. So when to see someone go to the WWF or WWE and do good, you know, that makes me feel good. Because I'm like, you've gone into the other promotion and made a name for yourself. I don't care if they change your name or not. You still, you know, you're always going to be, we know where your roots are, where you came from. You know, some people, they changed their name. You know, he kept the Lex Luger name, but, you know, he became the Narcissist, whatever. But, you know, still.
Well, no, he was in WWE first. Because after he slammed, that's when he went to the Four Horsemen.
No.
Do I got that backwards?
I thought hold up. You about to be educated, son.
Wait, oh no, that's right. He went to he was WCW, then he went to WWE, then he went back to WCW. I forgot about that. Okay.
Yes, because he was considered one of the original. After he took over, he joined the Horsemen after Barry did. Windham.
Yeah.
Because he came in there, you know, he was the player from Chicago, the football player. Came in there, and then you know he won the U.S. title, and then they turned on him, and then he joined with Sting, blah blah blah, you know, and then he made his comeback on the very first Nitro because they had it in the Mall of America, remember?
Oh
and
he
walked in there, and Bischoff was like, "What the hell's he doing here? He doesn't belong here," you know. You know, and he's the one that coined the phrase "where the big boys play."
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, because he said, "I'm back in WCW because this is where the big boys play."
Okay.
So
what is something you love then?
Something I love. I love when I'll have to say it old school. I love how, and I'm going back to my WCW, how they made stars out of nobodies. Because, you know, when WCW, one of the things I don't like is when they try to turn to WWE when they brought Hogan over. Lucky for me, I was in college, and so I really didn't have access to watching a lot of TBS in my dorm room because we didn't have cable. So I missed a lot of. When I went back and watched some of it later on, I was like, God, I'm glad I missed this. Hogan was trying to turn WCW into old school WWF. But thank goodness for the renaissance of people like Sting. You know, he went through his changes. I love watching Diamond Dallas Page. That is one of the most underrated wrestlers. I love DDP. His best matches was in WCW.
Look, he was great
Some of
till he
his worst
started.
was in-
He was great till he started stalking Sarah. Then he had to get put in his place.
It's
Oh
me.
Lord. It's
He's the
DDT.
stalker. But I love how they created stars. They created
I remember, wasn't
Goldberg.
wasn't his story wasn't he like a homeless guy at first? DDP,
What?
they picked him up off like the street, and then all of a sudden
He was
he like
he was
kept
a
coming through the
bouncer.
crowd, and just kept like he would come through the crowd, and I remember that stuck with him through his whole career. But I remember when he
Well,
first
no,
started.
when he first started, okay, here I go. When he first started, he managed Scott Hall, which was the Diamond Stud.
Yep, I remember that.
Yes, that's where DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, and the Diamond Stud. And that's how he got started as a man. He started as a manager because he kept using that catchphrase, "Good God," and stuff like that. And so he started out as a manager, and then literally after that, once him and Bischoff became good friends, that's when he became a wrestler.
Right, but like his original gimmick when he was a solo wrestler was him like being homeless and walking through the crowd, and
No, it wasn't that he was homeless. It was remember, DDP was, and I y'all might not remember this.
he was the people's champ, wasn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah,
why
that's
he
what it
came to the
was.
crowd.
Yeah,
He
I
was the
remember
people's
now.
champion, and also remember The Rock's the people's champion. So you can't have two people's
Well,
champions.
DDT was it first
Yeah,
because he was Rocky Maivia when that was going on.
exactly. So yeah, so that's my good and bad from the past.
All right, so we will move on to our next trivia then. All right, I'm gonna let y'all think about this one. This wrestler was at WrestleMania 1 through 3 and had a career that spanned almost 30 years. Never once did they wrestle at SummerSlam, ever.
Hmm.
And they are in the Hall of Fame.
Wow. Where do you find these?
I think this is Odysseus' favorite part of the podcast, to be honest.
Let me think here.
It was in the first wrestle.
And he never wrestled on what'd you say?
He
SummerSlam?
never wrestled at SummerSlam.
Hmm.
I know, right? There's so many I want to say, but I think they all wrestle SummerSlam.
No, I think I'm gonna pull this one out of my butt. I will see here. Let me think. I'm going to say. Crap. No, that can't be right. No, it could be. I'm gonna say. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Nope.
Dang it!
Give me a second. I'm still thinking. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but I'm going to go with Andre the Giant.
Nope.
Is it Tito?
Rowdy Piper.
Hold up.
Wait a minute.
Piper never wrestled at SummerSlam?
He has never wrestled at SummerSlam. He had Piper's Pit at SummerSlam, but he never wrestled at SummerSlam.
You son of an unnamed goat.
Wow.
All right.
Oh man, see Piper's Pit, that counts, man. That counts.
All right.
He
And
fought. He beat some people up. You
Yeah.
know?
all right.
Wow. Okay.
And
Really?
here's your next one. This one's a good
Okay.
one. All right. Who is the last person to pin Roman Reigns?
Jay, are you talking about currently?
Singles competition.
Singles. Yeah, it was Jay.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
That was a tag
Nope.
match.
I got
Oh.
it. I got it.
Who is it?
Baron Corbin.
It is. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Good job, man.
That was good. Even though he's
All right.
I know that's awesome.
God, I hate Corbin.
All right. So, what I have for an idea, this is going to be a little build up, so y'all got to go with me. This is honestly the best idea I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
So, I need WWE to bring back the Hardcore Championship, the European Championship, the Divas Championship, the Women's Championship, and what was the other one? The 24/7 Championship. I need all these belts to come back. I have an idea for a pay-per-view that will take place right after WrestleMania. So when WrestleMania season's over with, all your storylines are concluded, WrestleMania, the very next pay-per-view, I'm going to move Night of Champions. It is going to be the next pay-per-view after WrestleMania. There will be a tournament that is the King of the Ring style. It's going to be called the Champions Gambit. Now, this is where it gets interesting. It's an elimination tournament. Every single belt is on the line. Every single belt. However, if you win a belt, you cannot lose a belt that night. So what that means is if Roman Reigns is going up against somebody who is the 24/7 champion and he beats them in the very first match, the rest of the night Roman cannot lose the 24/7 match, even if 24/7 belt, even if he loses. He can lose his WWE championship, but he can't lose his 24/7 match. Now, the reason this is such a good idea, I said every championship, right? So,
Light heavyweight too.
yeah, and light heavyweight. So, the reason this is a big idea, or this is such a great idea, the tag team champions are up for grabs. So, if the heavyweight champion pins the tag team champion, you now have a new tag team to create stories with. If Roman gets beat in the tournament, in the very first round, you have a new champion who you can do stories with. It is a way to reset and come up with stories. Now, here's the other part of it. The outcomes are not determined by writers. It is completely random, done like the old school Raw roulette, where they had the little gumball machine and you turn it and it tells you who wins. But only the fans won't see that, of course.
Right, right.
But it's a way to reset everything. And I think, honestly, like, the King of the Ring has lost its luster because, I mean, Xavier Woods won the King of the Ring. What the hell did he do with it? You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing has been done with the King of the Ring in so many years.
He got beat down and they gave Roman his crown.
Exactly. But I'm saying, like, so this does a couple things, right? Let's just say, you know, Roman could win it the whole night, right? But then he could go undefeated and still remain the champion. However, think of the amount of belts that he could win in that night. So you could have him win all these belts, and then he could be like, I am the greatest of all time. You know, it would create, or you could have like LA Knight, who has no championships. All of a sudden, he's like, think about it. LA Knight, if he won all those championships, he would literally turn into The Miz. He would be like, oh, you know, I'm the most must-see guy, LA Knight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's an amazing idea, but this is where I want people to break it down and tell me if they like it or if they hate it.
I'm torn, honestly, on a lot of it sounds really interesting. Not big fan of the Diva title. I'd have to rename that one. The Diva's just bad.
Oh, that was something else I was going to add. Sorry, I meant to add on to that. Intergender matches are allowed.
That would be awesome, because I would love to see.
So like Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, they can enter the men's tournament if they wish. However, you cannot enter the men's tournament unless you have a belt.
Okay, I like that.
That is your entrance fee. And think about it. That would actually be amazing, because I'm not saying he would come back, but wouldn't it be hilarious if Santino was the 24/7 champion, and then he put his belts up to get in the women's tournament?
Oh my God, wow. that would be hilarious.
And then Beth Phoenix come back and knock him out in the first round.
No, that would be really awesome. And you know, it also goes back to something that Odysseus and I have talked about a lot too, is they're in a position now where they have so many potential main event stars that they need to split up the tag. Sure.
Yeah.
And they need to have some more mid-card titles brought back, like, you know, maybe a light heavyweight, or like I think we talked about, even the women, you know, they could have a women's Intercontinental Championship and a women's United States Championship. Give them a mid-card belt. I mean, let's face it, they don't really treat those tag team titles with a whole lot of respect.
No.
So, you know, it'd be nice to see like a mid-card title for your Zoe Stark right now, you know, for your, you know, it's a good way to build up Jade. Have her start from there and move on up. Saying.
Now, see, I could see your concept with that, like with what he just said. What if Jade came in, held the women's Intercontinental title. We also talked about a TV title. Had the TV title and the world title.
Yep. That's what I'm saying is like, because then you could also set up for like, okay, so everybody used to love the Iron Man matches, right? Yeah. So you could set it up to where, all right, so this like Roman let's just say Roman wins all three. We'll use Roman as, because you know he's the top guy. As much as hate him or love him, he's the top guy. So let's just say Roman wins the other heavyweight title, and he wins the Intercontinental title from Gunther. He has all three titles. So that means in one night, Roman has to defend all three titles.
Yeah.
So you could literally bring back the whole, you have to defend your belt every 30 days or whatever it was. Bring that back and enforce it. And I don't know. I just think it would be an awesome concept.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that. You know, I mean, I see issues with it, but I do like that general.
I will tell you, this didn't happen in the tournament, but there was a person, I'm trying to think, it was one or two people. This did happen in TNA, remember? I think it was either Kurt or Samoa Joe had like 5 titles all at once.
Yeah, that was Samoa Joe.
Was it Samoa Joe?
Yeah, it was Samoa Joe. He had one on each shoulder and he had one on his stomach.
No, but he had like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
All together. And you know, and I think at one point he did have to defend 2 at one time. You know, like what is it? MJF with AEW.
Yep.
He's a ROH champion, tag team champions, and the AEW champion. He had to defend his titles twice in one night.
Yeah.
I mean, which I think, this is where, if something would happen like that, Tony Khan would do it in AEW.
Yeah. I just, like I said, I absolutely love the idea. I love the fact of having a reset. I love the, especially the randomness, right? Like the whole gumball thing or the roulette. The reason I love that is because you could have someone be the top guy and go out in the first round. And then what are you doing? You're building up somebody else. Now, yeah, we might have a Jinder Mahal moment, but, you know, who's to say that, you know, someone like, what's his name? Grayson Waller. He could be the top guy. We just haven't given him the chance. And this gives them the chance.
So. I agree with that, but I think, again, I hate sounding like a broken record, but getting Vince out of creative, if it's God, let's pray it's true, he's out. I think Triple H knows that he has those stars, and a lot of those guys are Triple H guys. You know, like I said, you know, Odysseus and I talked about it today about Johnny Gargano. You know, Vince was absolute dead set against him and Ciampa getting back together.
Yep.
You know,
I remember that.
And now they're back together, so that tells you something's changed. But that's how they need to build their stars. I mean, and you don't necessarily even have to win a match. Look at the Becky and Tiffany Stratton match, the Extreme Rules match. Wow, that was an amazing match.
Well, I would also say, I would go back to our last podcast and kind of add what Tats talked about. I like your idea about the tournament. If it was based on different organizations, they all had to compete. Now, one of the things I would say do is to get a good reset, because I don't think it's fair that the build up, if like right after WrestleMania comes, you won your title, you deserved it. I don't think you should have to give it up the next pay-per-view for a reset. What I do think would be great is that you have these tournaments based on these different titles, and then the winner face that champion, and then and then, like you said, I think that would be the random gumball winner for that.
Well, how about this then? How about I amend it, right? So how about for the Champions Gambit pay-per-view, you have to put your belts up. You don't have to. But if I'm Roman and I'm the WWE champion, and Seth is the Universal champion, and I know Seth's gonna be there, then I know that I have to put my title up to go get that. Or if I'm chasing my Grand Slam, right, and I'm already I'm holding both the Universal and the heavyweight, then or WWE, then I know that to beat Gunther, I have to put both belts on the line to join. So I think it's something like you could amend it that way. And as far as the other organizations go, I would say add NXT to the mix. But the problem with that is the roster gets a little too big for that, right? It's only a 3-hour show.
Yeah. Well, and then that's the other thing I was going to say.
Or you do a 2-night thing. Yeah. Yeah, you could do that.
If it's going to be that big, yeah, you couldn't do that in 1 hour. Well, and then you also put time limits on the matches. You have 20 minutes.
Yeah, but I don't think today's fans are okay with that. And besides, if it goes to time limits, what do you then do? Go to the judges?
That would be cool, though. I mean, that's a little bit old school.
I mean, it would open up storylines for the judges taking bribes.
Yeah, I mean, they actually do that in AEW. If the match goes into a time limit,
dude, that's actually a great idea. Because think about it, the gumball machine could be the judge, right? Because then you could say like he's taking bribes and stuff, but the fans don't know that a gumball has already predetermined stuff. And it keeps your guy to where he's safe, right? He never was actually pinned or whatever. So like Roman's big thing is he can't be pinned, right? That's a way to keep those guys safe.
Yeah, in a singles match. Well, that's just like I don't know if you keep up with it, but you know when Ricky Starks had the feud with Bryan Danielson.
Mm-hmm.
Bryan Danielson won each match, but Ricky Starks never gave up. He passed out.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. Or he was knocked out when Bryan Danielson wrapped the chain around his knee and kneed Ricky Starks right in the face.
Yep. I do remember that.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And he couldn't answer the 10 count. But Ricky Stark, which you know, now we talk about current. I don't know what they were thinking with AEW with big what is he? I still call him Cass.
Big Bill. Big Bill.
And Big Bill and Ricky Starks beating FTR for the titles Saturday night.
Well, they said that what's his face was hurt, not Dax, the other guy.
Oh well, I thought he was going to jail because of the gun charge.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Oh, Raven, you want to let him in on that one?
Oh wow, yeah, you didn't hear about the gun?
I did not. Here's our hot take for the podcast, everybody.
There you go. Yeah, so allegedly, there was a road rage incident where, I guess
Dax.
he was passing something else. It was Dax, right?
Yeah.
Dax was passing another driver, was pissed off that this driver was playing games with him or whatnot, and showed him a handgun.
Oh.
Through the windshield, you know? And so this dude, of course, goes running to the cops. You know, his life was threatened.
Wow.
This happened right before the show on Wembley.
What an idiot.
But I think, because I did hear that the other person was injured as well. I saw that today, earlier. So that may have more.
Yeah, Dax. Dax was because they beat the crap out of the other one, the ball-headed one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the other one Dax wasn't even in the match.
Jeez.
So you know, they did where he kept getting knocked out the ring.
Yeah, I think it was her.
Yeah.
It's like Dino, or not, was it Dino Bravo?
Oh, the one that got murdered?
Yeah, man. Like, wrestlers sometimes do some crazy crap.
I watched that on, what was it, Dark Side of the Ring?
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, good Lord.
Yeah, they executed that, man.
Oh, yeah, that was a straight mob execution. But that was a little different than just showing a gun, though. That's kind of, I don't know.
Look, you found out Moolah was prostituting chicks, wrestling women and stuff.
That's true. That's true.
Wow, that I did not hear. Oh.
Oh, they erased Moolah from the WWE timeline.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
You know how they had the Mae Young tournament?
Uh-huh.
They were going to have...
It was originally the Moolah. Yeah, it was originally Moolah.
It was originally Moolah.
Yep. And then all the female wrestlers were like, yo, this is not cool. This is what she did, and allegedly or whatever.
Right.
And
oh, wow.
So.
Interesting.
Oh, they Chris Benoit her.
Oof. Oof.
Yep.
Well,
not in that suit. You know. All right, let me rephrase that. They Sasha Bankster.
Give me that bank statement.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
She's supposed to be coming back tonight.
Monet.
Part of the AEW surprise.
Monet, what is it? Monet or
Monet, I think.
Monet Martinez or Monet.
I don't know.
Yeah,
overrated anyway.
Oh wow.
No, I like Sasha. I do, but I do think that. So I think Sasha is a phenomenal wrestler, but good lord, does she suck on the mic?
Ding 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 ding. I agree.
It's like,
you know what?
let your cousin do the promos for you.
Yeah. I think for our next podcast, I don't want to, kill. I think we should have a segment that we ask our friends. We pick a topic, like a Hulk Hogan or something, and we give our thoughts on that. What we think. Well, let's see if they have a question that we can gather and bring back, and we discuss it between the three of us.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. We'll have to look at that.
Yeah.
You guys ready for your last two trivias?
Yes.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
I got one.
Alrighty. So, Mark Henry and The Big Show broke the wrestling ring. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Who had a match directly following it and had to wrestle with a broken ring? And I'll give you a hint. It was for the title.
Let's see.
Trying to remember what year that was.
That I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I want to say, because I think at that time they were both on SmackDown. So I want to say during that time had a title match. I want to say either Stone Cold or The Rock, one of those two. So, but I'm gonna go with Stone Cold.
Negative on both of them.
I'm gonna go, and I'm probably wrong, but I'm gonna go with Angle.
It is John Cena and Alberto Del Rio.
Cena was my second guess, honestly.
Y'all were way behind on your timeline.
Woo.
You're right. But I was like, then I had to think about it. I was like, you know what? They wouldn't let Stone Cold and The Rock go on or like have a match like they'd be like,
no.
All right.
Hey man, our excuses were all pushing 50, or some of us are already over.
Some of us aren't even out of our 30s yet. Thank you.
Okay, so you don't.
All right. So this one is the one I wanted to save for the very last one, and this is more targeted towards you, Odysseus, but of course, Raven, you're more than welcome to answer as well.
All right.
Ric Flair.
Woo!
Your all-time favorite.
actually, it's not.
Well,
Dusty Rhodes is my all-time favorite.
okay.
But
How many pay-per-views did Ric Flair main event for the WWE in his entire career?
Oh gosh. Ooh, that's all you, Johnny, or all you, Odysseus. Sorry.
oh, that's easy. The answer is none. Which one? Please give me.
There is
It's less than 5.
there is only one.
And the only one I'm trying to think, because he wrestled. Oh my God, he never wrestled Hogan for the title. I know he had a feud with Macho Man.
Extra credit.
So,
if you get his opponent, I will let you pick your topic next podcast.
His opponent that he main evented with.
And I will give you another hint, just because that's a very, very broad range.
Okay.
It was in the 2000s.
It was in the 2000s. Now, this was a pay-per-view main event?
This was a pay-per-view main event, and it's the only one he ever headlined.
Wait a minute. I don't know if that wasn't a main event, or was it?
Well, the Royal Rumble does not count, just a heads up.
No. He didn't main event against Shawn Michaels in his last match, did he?
Is that your final answer?
I'm going to go with that.
The correct answer was Randy Orton in 2004.
Oh,
Dun, dun, dun.
Wow. And what pay-per-view was it?
I actually got to look it up. Hang on one second. It doesn't give the pay-per-view. It just gives the year. Yeah, it does not. It doesn't give it.
Okay.
Yep.
that's interesting.
Yep. All right, everyone. Well, that is going to do it for our second episode of the podcast. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it, guys. Next week, we might try to do this again next week. Are you guys cool with next week?
I'm good.
I'm just,
Absolutely.
Cool.
let me know.
Will do. And
I will say one thing.
Uh-huh.
Personally, I'm actually working on talking to different wrestling organizations. As you know, in my real life, personal life, I run a business hub, and I have an event space. We've done a wrestling event before with DPW, and they're actually before he broke his ankle, Adam Cole was coming down to do an event with them.
There you go. So what's the name of that organization, sir?
Deadlock Pro Wrestling.
No, I'm talking about your venue. You got to plug it here, man. Go ahead.
Oh, my venue. Oh, it's the Hub Raleigh, C3 Catering and Events. Well, the thing about this place now, we just moved into a new location, and I have a almost a 4,000 square foot warehouse where I can house wrestling events in there now.
Hey, let's go.
I'm talking to different organizations right now to come by and tour. So, yeah, I think that would be awesome. Of course, we will be there shooting live if we have to.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yes, sir.
Yes. But I am working on there's a lot of wrestling organizations in the Raleigh. There's one in Selma that one guy I talked to, one of his best friends is Carlito. And before he went to Puerto Rico, he actually headlined an event in Selma, which is basically 20 minutes from my house. But yeah. So
did he spit in your face because you weren't cool?
No, I would have kicked him in his nuts because he spit in my face.
He should have spit an apple at you. I'm just saying.
Yup.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna let that one go. But yeah, I think once we do that, and I know you're actually pretty close to me, Hammer Time. We need to figure out some time we could actually. I would love to show you the new venue, and then yeah, I think that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be totally down.
Sorry, I want to throw that in there, but
nope,
I am working on it.
You're good. All right, everybody. I am HammerTime83. You can check me out on Twitch under HammerTime83, all lowercase. That is twitch.tv/HammerTime83. And we will catch you all next week. Y'all have a good one.